Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. As you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today. I feel like I change my accent every time I do the intro. Have a big stretch. Right. Yeah, I'm just recording some Animal Crossing before live stream later today. I was just deciding what I'm gonna play for the live stream. And I remembered that I have a load of random games on itch.io which I bought in a bundle ages ago, and I was like, this is perfect opportunity to play some of these games for like an hour or something of the first lot. So anyway, hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow, it's 12:19 PM on Sunday, May 19th, 2024. Yeah, anyway. So, streaming later today. I've got a lot of recording I need to do, because I need to record, normally I record on Saturdays. Most of our videos on Saturdays for next week, but as the case may be, this time was my friends are playing Siege, and I was like, I want to play Siege as well. So I played some Siege, basically for most of yesterday, and honestly it was great fun. I like Siege a lot as a game, to be perfectly honest, so the fact that we've got like 5-stack lobbies again is pretty good fun, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that does mean I do need to record most of today instead. I mean, technically I don't have to. I could always record on like Monday, like at 11 PM or something, but I try to not do that if I can help it. But yes, so I will be recording at least some Paradise Killer and at least Talos Principle today, and then Okami I will have to. I mean, Okami I could record on Tuesday, I suppose. Now I think about it, but I've waited. Like I like to do it in advance if I can. I need to record more weekdays as well, to be perfectly honest. That way, because I want to start building up a backlog of like 2 weeks or something. One, I'm going on holiday like at the start of June, so you know I definitely will need a backlog at that point. And then two, once we start getting into art fight time around July, I'm like, I want to have like a month's worth of backlog, so then I can just not record anything but Animal Crossing episodes for July. But yeah, I mean, I say that's a ways off, but you know, it will probably come sooner than you think. I did a bit more thumbnail art drawing last night. I was doing a bit of drawing with friends. Honestly, I was too tired to do really that much, so I think I just coloured in like Biscuit and Audi, I think, was all I've done. But it's progressing, slowly but surely. The weird thing about recording is, technically because each episode is 20 minutes, really, like, all the recording I need to do for a week, I could do in 2 hours, which is weird to think about, because normally it takes much longer, I think, obviously, because I take breaks in the middle of that sort of thing, and then I get distracted, etc., etc. Have I done any of my, like, catch game playing things? No, I haven't. Oh, I will say, the most interesting thing which happened today thus far, and I don't know if maybe this is reflective of, like, a... something more boring, I suppose. Really not much has happened, I suppose, thus far. This morning, I mean, maybe stuff has happened, but, you know, not stuff I've been aware of yet. But, yeah, I had, like, a Windows pop-up, basically being like, hey, Windows 10 is no longer going to be supported at the end of 2025 in October or something. So upgrade to Windows 11, and then it was just like, oh, your PC is also not eligible to upgrade to Windows 11. I was like, really? Like, normally you're not eligible for upgrades if you're like, you've got like a really old computer, surely. I'm like, my computer's not that old. I think it's about 5 years oldish or something, which feels like that should be within the realms of upgradability to Windows 11. And lo and behold, thankfully, there's been a lot of internet discussions over this in the first place, which, you know, thankful for the internet for giving us the opportunity to actually be able to look up these things, and thankful for people who actually answer these questions on it. You know, shout out to the people who are very technically minded into their niche subject or whatever, who manages to break down exactly what the layperson needs to know. But basically, the most common thing was 2 things that you need to be like enabled or something on your computer for upgrade to Windows 11, which is like TPM, which I genuinely don't really know what it is, to be perfectly honest. I looked it up and I forgot immediately what it meant. It was something just as I think it's like an anti-tampering sort of security feature. Anyway, some security feature. I don't know necessarily what the repercussions of it are, so don't ask me. But yeah, but basically, you had to have that enabled, and you had to have like secure boot enabled or something. And I was just basically just trying to like spend an embarrassingly long time trying to find out how to even enable TPM in the first place. And then I finally like found it, because apparently like my BIOS version is different from ones in all the screenshots. And then like the first tutorial I clicked on like had a completely different had a completely different like BIOS screen or whatever, and told me to go into a wrong setting, and I was looking for this setting and being like, it doesn't exist. And then I had to find a different tutorial which was like, oh, go to this setting if you're using like an Intel chip, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then it gives you a scary not a scary pop-up, but like when you're not technologically, well, okay, I am technologically minded, but even still there's like limits to the amount of technology I've interfaced with and the amount of depth of things I know. I was changing the setting to like enable, like firstly it was just like, do you want to change from hardware to firmware or something setting? I can't remember what on earth it's called now. And I was like, well, I guess this is probably what I need to change to firmware. And then it gives like a pop-up being like, warning, if this is like, if you do this, and then like all the data could be lost if you do XYZ something. I can't remember the exact details. And I was like, that sounds kind of scary. Let me Google this to see what the repercussions of this are first. And thankfully, someone else put this exact question on Reddit, and someone who's more technologically minded than me, or at least understands whatever this means better, answered the question in layman's terms, being like, yeah, basically by default your thing is going to be set to the hardware setting, and unless you've physically installed this like an additional module into your motherboard, which you'll be very aware that you did, then you haven't installed this module. And that basically, to say having the hardware setting on is equivalent to it being disabled. Setting it to firmware is basically enabling it, because then it like gets saved in the CPU. And then they thankfully explain the warning as well, saying like that warning is not saying anything very dangerous. It's just basically saying if you use a software called BitLocker, which you probably don't use unless you explicitly know what you're doing, then make sure you don't lose the security key that comes with it. And I'm like, okay, perfectly. So it doesn't apply to me essentially. So shout out to that person, and I would try and find that Reddit post again, except for I have no idea what I searched to even find it. I searched exactly what came up in the settings, so that's going to be difficult to find. But shout out in general to people who answer questions into layman's terms for very technological things. Because even, yeah, I say, I am technologically savvy, but of course I'm not technologically savvy with everything. I don't think anyone can be. Well, that's not probably true. Some people certainly can be in one like large field, like as computers in general, but I'm not that hardware savvy. I know how to, like, I would say I have the above average technical skills, but I'm not like an IT professional or something, you know? I can follow the tutorial, but I don't know how to create that tutorial, I suppose, is the explanation I would use. So yeah, I don't know, shout out to that person for actually explaining it, and I've enabled it now. And I was meant to check Windows, was it health, PC health, PC health check, that's what it's called, which tells you if you're if you can check now and introduce Windows 11. Nice. Windows 11 is free and coming soon, and this PC meets the Windows 11 requirements. So whenever it comes to the point, October 2025, and it's like, okay, you need to upgrade now because Windows 10 is getting no more update support, then I'll be like, okay, time to upgrade. Or maybe it won't, I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I don't really know what repercussions are for not doing it either, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, there's been a lot of times in my life, I feel like, where obviously I didn't have the tech know-how, I suppose, to deal with an issue my computer was facing or something. Excuse me, it's early in the morning. Well, it's not really early in the morning. It's like basically coming into the afternoon, but my throat is very much like still not got the phlegm, I suppose, out of it. Still very gravelly. Well, I didn't have like the tech know-how to deal with something. Like the one I always think about is the fact that I got like a virus at some point on my computer, and it was like ransomware. I don't even know where I got it from, because like at that point I don't even think I knew how to pirate things, or I mean, I don't even pirate things now I think about it in the first place, but I didn't like go on sketchy sites to download weird MP3s or something, at least that I know of. I probably did, maybe like maybe I was just like a silly child who just like clicked on a link being like, whoa, free Habbo Hotel credits, I've got to click on this. Now I like to think of myself as much more technologically literate, but then me being like, I don't know what to do, and then just eventually finding a tutorial about like booting into safe mode, and then using that to go on the internet to search up what to do, and then people would just like install this antivirus, and I was like, okay. And I did it, and then it got rid of the virus, and I was like, oh, that was a very stressful afternoon though. I'm trying to think of like other tutorials I followed. I mean, some of them I followed wrong, to be perfectly honest. Like, there was one time I was trying to like update the Windows name, which is used like on the PC and that sort of thing. And then I just like did it, and then it just like broke my computer, and I was like, okay, let's not do that again. Like, no idea what I did that caused everything to fail, but I mean, I think I probably like skipped out a step, or I just like didn't follow the instructions properly, or I didn't find a good tutorial. Nowadays it gets probably a lot harder. I'd imagine I would not be surprised, I should say, if there's some bad faith actors on the internet, or people who are just businesses trying to like churn out tutorials who use AI, I suppose, to generate these sorts of tutorials in the first place, which, you know, for very important things I would not do, certainly. I mean, AI certainly does have its use cases, but at the end of the day, AI is basically like a search engine, the most convincing but unverified search engine is probably how I'd describe it. Because you might use it a few times, and then like it can be very generative for ideas. It can be a great way to sort of like pare down information, but then, you know, it's not, you'll never really know if it gets it wrong or not, I suppose. To be fair, I suppose, so same goes with online articles. I think if anything is more demonstrative of that than the fact that I tried to follow like this BIOS tutorial from one tutorial, and it just showed me a setting which didn't even exist. So I don't know. It's difficult to make tutorials, I suppose, all-encompassing for situations, because, you know, that tutorial probably was correct, and maybe it was just like I had a different situation, so what's the stitch? Yeah, I don't know. Stack Exchange, that's always pretty good. I mean, Stack Exchange is full of, you know, a lot of very smart people who answer questions to the best of their abilities, right? Have I used Stack Exchange before? Yeah, I've used it a few times. I've never answered any questions on it. I will fully admit to that. Not out of like laziness, or what, maybe, I guess partially out of laziness. I'm sure there's some things I could do. Some questions I could answer on that sort of thing, but probably not a lot. Like, I don't know. Now I think about it, Stack Exchange. Maybe that's you know, now back in my day, using Stack Exchange to try and understand concepts or something, learn in lessons. Now, use AI. Is it better? I don't know. I don't remember what I was getting with this. Like, there's nothing. I'm just saying random stuff now at this point, aren't I? I will do my Neopets, I suppose, dailies while I'm doing this. I haven't done any of my dailies yet, so this is the chance to do so in Animal Crossing. I guess I can say what game I'm going to play. I'm going to play a game called Hidden Folks, I think, on stream. Because it's like a Where's Wally sort of game, or Where's Waldo, I suppose, if you're American, or like any country, any nationality which is not British. Oh, that's not true, I suppose. Any English-speaking nationality. Actually, I don't know. Is Where's Wally? Is he still called like Wally/Waldo in other languages, just like with, I don't know, or like translated versions? I don't know. I lost 1,000 Neo points in a Wheel of Misfortune though, so how about that? What was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say anymore. I'm just like spinning with cycles. I thought I was going to have more to talk about, like this concept of person who knows about their field, translating it to the lay person, but apparently I didn't. I'm trying to think of more examples off the top of my head, but I really can't think of any. Not to say it doesn't exist, of course. I'm sure there have been opportunities, but sometimes you just don't think of them. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. Has there been a time? I mean, it's really hard to think of something like this, I suppose, off like the top of your head. So I'm going to cut myself a little bit of slack here, where I'm just like, oh no, I can't think of this exact situation I was trying to describe. And of course you can't. How are you going to think of something like that, just like that? And the answer is you don't. You just sort of got to vibe it out and see what you remember. Sorry. I'm being very distracted by doing the Neopets daily missions. Because normally I wouldn't, but of course I got a magical Chia Pop as a potential weekly quest reward. So that means of course I have to do it, otherwise am I going to pass up on a free, like, 1 million Neo points? And the answer is no. What quest have I not done? Yeah, I don't know. These help forums. I mean, I think there's nothing more, maybe not nothing more. I'm talking a lot of hyperbole today, apparently. One of the most, like, relatable experiences is that XKCD comic, which I think everyone knows about if you ever tried to troubleshoot a problem, where it's just like, oh, I've tried to, like, find out what was the issue with this problem right here by doing this, and then it's like, oh no, the only person who has even said, oh, so like you try and search a code or something, you try and search like exactly what issue you're facing, and then you find like an old forum post from like 2004 or something, maybe on like eBaum's World, if that's even a thing anymore, I don't know. And then it's just like, oh, they have the same problem, and then the next post is like, never mind, I found the solution, but they don't post the solution. I mean, you're just like, no. Documentation is a very important thing to do. To make sure that you, what's the word, can build up, I suppose, a sense of knowledge for people who come and follow in your footsteps, to be like, oh yeah, they can repeat these steps as well. Although I feel like nowadays, if anything, we kind of have the opposite problem. Well, not the opposite, it's not a problem, I suppose, but the opposite thing, where now with like so much of the internet existing, the internet is basically like the largest database of the world. You can find information on almost anything, and now the hard part is not finding the information, it's finding the correct information, I suppose. Because a lot of it could just be like wrong or like false or something like that, which is obviously, I would say, suboptimal when you're trying to find like an actual solution to something, but maybe that's controversial of me. Yeah, I don't know. For the layman, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to title this episode. Oh yeah, you know what, let's do the thumbnail art as well. We're doing this. It's been revolutionary doing it this time, because now I don't actually forget to do it. And hopefully I won't have to do it like this anymore. At least until next year. But hopefully, at least, maybe I'll learn from experience, and next year I will start the thumbnail art far, far further in advance. You know what, let's find this. Actually, let's not find this person, because I just realised I don't. Maybe let's not randomly call out a person on the internet, even if it is thanking them. From like a post from like 2 years ago or something. 1517. I don't even know what to put for a doodle for this one. I'm just gonna put, I'll put a little heart down. I'm recording here, why not? And I'll put, well, what should I put for a doodle, or like go over the message here? That's a good question. I don't even know what I'm titling this episode. I'm gonna title it, a very meta conversation I suppose I'm having here. I don't know. I guess I'll think about it, and then you'll see what it is. There's no point in having me sit here for, I suppose, for 2 minutes just being like, what am I going to do? Anyway, sorry. Conversationally weak, I think, today, but that's fine. We got a live stream today. This is a warm-up. This is a behind-the-scenes warm-up, and me going like, mammy moo mammo, until we get into the stream itself. But for now, if you haven't been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, where's my mouse? Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope you see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.